I think everybody here knows me. My name is Harper Wagner, YRCI's Director of Business Transformation, and also certified HeartMath trainer, leading you through another 15-minute HeartMath session for Stress Awareness Month. We will get started, as we always do, with heart-focused breathing. This is the core technique in many of HeartMath's emotional self-regulation techniques. And real simply, we will focus our attention in the area of the heart. Might be helpful to place your hand on your heart to help you draw your attention there. Then we're going to imagine our breath is flowing in and out of our heart or chest area, breathing a little slower and deeper than usual, 4 to 6 seconds in, if you can do it, 4 to 6 seconds out. And find that easy rhythm that's comfortable to you, whether it's 4 to 6 seconds or something else. Let's go ahead and practice. You can do this eyes open or closed, camera on or off, whatever helps you feel comfortable. Let's dive into it. So focus your attention in the area of the heart. Imagine your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area, breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. Find an easy rhythm that's comfortable. Mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your heart and your breath. Keeping this going, keeping your awareness on your heart and on your breath for as long as possible. We'll continue this practice through the next 10, 11 minutes. Thinking about this session today, I was feeling stressed this morning. I was thinking about a future event that may or may not happen and what may or may not happen. And I found myself caught up, feeling constricted and feeling my energy draining and being very aware of that. And that was the indicator for me to take a step back, breathe, get centered using techniques like heart-focused breathing. And I realized I was thinking about this event in the future, and the idea came once I was able to get into a creative place. And I had the intention this morning of identifying what we talk about and in this session. And our natural ability, of our mind for simulation. It's an amazing tool for simulating what may happen. And that has its pros and cons, as we're aware. We can simulate moving forward into a direction that's uplifting, that's in the direction that we wish to go. And we can also simulate what we wish to avoid in the end. It's a little bit more depleting in nature. So the uplifting experiences that we can focus our mind on and essentially help create by putting our energy into those experiences, it takes a little bit more work sometimes than the experiences that are negatively charged. I would say. If we think about this being a positive charge, being the uplifting experience, and a negative charge, and bringing in the emotions of fear and worry and whatever else that's down there that is depleting in nature. Um, when we find ourselves going down into the negative experiences, and we're essentially creating that in our mind, we're giving that a charge, that experience, and that charged experience is actually co-creating or helping to co-create that in reality for us, so we experience it. And when I realized I was doing that, I said, okay, well, I know where this goes. I've spent enough time um, and in my life down in the dumps and completely unable to get out of that cycle. Just didn't have the resources to do it at the time. Um, when we catch ourselves in those moments, the little things of just bringing ourselves back to center with the heart focused breathing, right, it pulls us out of the loop. And the more that we can do that and pulling ourselves back up to center, that helps us to reestablish a baseline that is not the lower level, the negative emotions. It's important to understand we've got the baseline of how we operate and our neural system. So that those neural networks, they are firing. Neuroplasticity is something that I think most people have heard of. Like the more we use certain neural networks and patterns and things like that, the more they become ingrained in us and they become our habits. So realizing how we spend our days thinking, what's going on in our mind, and then being able to choose to have a different reality, essentially, a different mental reality. And what we think about, what we put our energy towards in our mind is what we end up experiencing in real life. And this has been talked about in a lot of different avenues, resources. I imagine this isn't the first time you've heard this. The the techniques with HeartMath, being able to apply, we have to have that awareness of what we're experiencing and then choose to have a different experience. HeartMath, the heart focused breathing, that's one way to bring us up to neutral. And that's in the current. We don't do anything in heart focused breathing except bring our current state to neutral. Well, what about if we are thinking about a future event and we want to start creating that future event? Maybe we have something planned that when I tune into it, I'm going to have, for example, all sorts of different people there that I may not have the best relationships with, or I know that I'm going to have a difficult conversation. Well, what can we do to actually begin creating that desired experience there? Now, for one, awareness is where it starts. If you realize that you're having that experience in your physical body by thinking of a future event, you can say, all right, well, we do the work. We say, why am I feeling like this? And then you can up level, come back to neutral with heart focused breathing. And then you say, well, what is it that I wish to experience? And you start to think about what it is you wish to experience, and you start to imagine what that is. And there's a technique called prep, and where we can actually begin preparing our nervous system and start creating that experience, that desired experience before we get into it. And essentially what we're doing is we're feeding it the emotional content, the mental content, that experience, that container, if you want to think about it like that container that with all those people involved. And if I start to imagine myself having a different experience than the desired experience, I then move into that experience, like actually in real life when I'm there in the physical reality, and I start to actually take on the mental and the emotional content that I've already put into it. I start to embody that because I've already done the work up front. I've already prepped myself to have the experience. It's just like if you've heard about basketball players that simulate in their mind making free throws. It's almost as good as if they actually do and practice the free throws themselves, right? So that's all we're doing. We're doing the mental work, we're doing the emotional work to have a different experience. And this is called prep. And this is, I bring this up for stress awareness because we get stressed about future events. So when I feel stressed about a future event, this is a way for us to change the reality, to change the actual experience we're going to have in that event. Now, I'm going to share my screen and walk you through prep, and then we'll practice. So the value of prep cannot be overemphasized. That slide is sharing here. It's emotionally and mentally composed before an event, like doing this work ahead of time. And this is proactive, so you have the desired experience. This is a conscious way of moving about in the world. And we're conscious about the way we feel, the way we want to feel. And then in the moment, it helps us be more centered. Knowing the dynamics at play with the different people involved with the experiences, you can short circuit and rewire those. So the prep technique, it's simple, it's effective, and where it starts is that we need to identify what that event is, a situation or interaction where the prep technique would be effective. So this is something that likely is already planned, that you're already going to be doing, that you're pretty certain you're going to be doing. So this is the first step. You're going to identify that event, situation, or action. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that now. Think about something, and if it may not be something that you're necessarily stressed out about, it could just be something that you'd like to have a different experience. Maybe it's not an ideal experience. Maybe it's not something you're looking forward to. And how do you shift that? So think about an event that when you do think about that future event, you either get stressed or something that you're maybe not that excited about, or something you just want to up level and have a higher level experience. So that's the first step. Hopefully you've got something. And then we're going to do heart focused breathing. And then as you continue heart focused breathings, you're going to see or imagine yourself in the upcoming event, situation, or interaction. And with genuine feeling, you're going to see yourself being calm and balanced, or whatever that desired experience is. You could feel connected. You could feel like you're having fun, right? And there's whatever that experience is. Just identify what it is, and then you're going to replay that here. You're going to see yourself being calm, balanced, or whatever the desired experience is. And remembering to recenter in your heart if you start to overreact or lose emotional composure. And what may happen here as you bring up being calm and balanced when you're normally not, there is a difference in the experience, and that difference is caused normally by patterns, emotional memories. And you may have those emotional memories start to move in when you do this. So the ask here is just to recenter. The reminder is to recenter back into heart if you start to overreact or lose emotional composure. That's the prep technique. Let's go ahead and practice. So we've got the event. Let's move into heart focused breathing. So focus your attention in the area of the heart. Imagine your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area, breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. Finding the easy rhythm that's comfortable. As you continue heart-focused breathing, see or imagine yourself in that upcoming event, situation, or interaction. The genuine feeling, see yourself being calm, balanced, or whatever that desired experience is. Remember to recenter and back into your heart, your breath. If you start to overreact or lose emotional composure, the invitation here is just continue feeding that future event or interaction, that experience, with positive energy, these positive, uplifting emotions. Thank you all for joining. Have a lovely afternoon.